Maybe they're gonna do it like right behind me. That's uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. Good morning. I can't believe it's Wednesday already. I don't really know. I think the week is going fast because now we're down to 3 days before Mark leaves for Australia. My anxiety is getting a little better now that the jobs are starting to kind of fall into place. Just as a recap, this week I've asked you to comment and question in the descriptions below just so I can take some time and pick a question that it looks like a lot of you have regarding the sheep farm or me personally or anything, basically anything to do with my channel. This person's been asking for in a couple videos now. It's from Onisims. Hi Sandy, I have a big favor to ask. Please see your video Lambing on Christmas Day, vlog 204 from minutes 424 to 529. Please make a raw video from that point of view or somewhere up when it is feeding time and all the lambs are free to run. It is very relaxing to watch. Please make it at least 15 minutes. It will make my day and I'm sure other people will love it as well. You can do your chores like usual and you don't need to edit. Thank you very much. This is such a cool idea, and the weird thing is Mark and I were just talking about that. I said I'd love to do a video where I could just put up the camera and not have to talk. Just show you guys, just have a nice relaxing video of just watching. I am gonna run the video today just as a sneak peek while I'm feeding, and I'll just let it run and I won't talk. And then you guys can let me know, is that something you'd want to see? So we just got back from lunch with Mom and Dad, and I went through my phone to see the questions you guys had. And it turns out the most popular question from today's poll, or not poll, but just the comments that kind of filtered to the top, all of you guys kind of liked the one where he asked me just to run the camera showing the sheep while I was feeding. So good news, I did that this morning, which is good. You guys let me know if you liked that, if you think that is good enough to do a video on, if I just kept the volume really low, put it to like calming music or no music, you guys can tell me. Something easy for your ears, so something you can just watch and it's soothing and calm and you don't have to listen to me or look at my face. All right, rest of the day, we have to finish working. These lunches are killing us. I don't know about any of you guys, but stopping in the middle of the day for me is not great. Let's go do some work. Lamb stampede every day. I think I can answer this question in this pen. The ewe is looking at me right now. Okay, the question is from Katie Rickless. How long are sheep prolific / breeding in their lifetime? How long do you keep them? How long do you typically keep them? How long do they usually live when they are producing every year and you don't have to move them out? Are they usually more productive early in life or when they're more seasoned? Lots of questions, but love the videos. Awesome, Katie, great question. I have a ewe in here that I bought my very first year as a yearling. So she was a year old in 2012. I bought her in July of 2012. She was born, I believe, the spring before. I'm gonna turn the camera, she's looking right at me, just a sec. So, that ewe with the brown face right there looking at us, she is born in 2011. So she is, does that mean, yeah, she'll be 9 years old this year. So she is a purebred Rito. I bought her from a lady not too far. She was actually a dog, she is a dog trainer. And I bought, I believe, like 25 ewes from her. Half of them were purebred Rito and the other half were a Rito Ile-de-France cross. She's one of, there might be 2 or 3 of her left of that group, which is outstanding, I would say. I keep them as long as they keep producing lambs and as long as their udders have no issues. So this ewe has probably lambed almost twice a year for since 2013. So that's the thing, she probably hasn't lambed all those 7 years 2 times, but she's lambed at least once in 7 years, every year for 7 years. I give every ewe 2 chances to breed. So it'd be interesting to see her records. I think I did look at her records in one of my videos not too long ago. Problem is, I only started keeping records on these guys in 2016 when I figured out how to use my Gallagher better. So I don't even have her records before that. I would love to know. So that's little 13B. So great question. They will last with me. I will keep a ewe as long as they're productive. So they have to conceive once a year at least. They can miss once. If they develop any udder problems, so a bad teat or lumpy udder, then they go. So great question. Okay, so Samantha Durham asked, how do you decide names if you choose to name any? Like, how did she become Popcorn? Let's go see Popcorn and I'll give you her story. Where is Popcorn? Popcorn. Here she is over there. Popcorn. Popcorn. Hi. You saying hi? That's Popcorn right there. Okay, Popcorn's story. So Popcorn got the name. Her mom's name is Poppy. I'll see if I have some old pictures of her. I should. Story with Popcorn is her mom was a really special little lamb. I think she was a little quad. And it was right when I broke my leg in 2014. Mark was doing the chores. Her mom didn't want her, but he grabbed that lamb, he brought her in the warm room, he tubed it, got her back to life, and he brought her back in a box on my lap in the living room in the house, which we don't typically do. But I was at such a low point. I don't do well when I'm sidelined, which is what happened when I broke my leg. And he put her in a box, threw it on my lap, gave me a blanket and said, deal with this. And brought in a bottle and some milk replacer, and I nursed Poppy for about 2 days in the house, and she just became my pet. Popcorn was her first ewe lamb, and unfortunately it was her last ewe lamb. She died later that year, and she's been amazing. She had twins. Popcorn had twins last year, so the one unfortunately died. I can't really remember why. They looked exactly like the two she had this year, which happened to be, one is in the feeder and one is just outside the feeder. Those two. Boom, boom. Anyway, the little one died, but the big one I ended up calling Orville. So, Popcorn, Orville. Anyway, I haven't named these two. The one is a female, the one with a bad leg, and the other one's a big ram lamb, but I haven't named them. But that's Popcorn's story. I only gave Popcorn a name because she was a suck from day one. The joke of a sheep is, because sheep have a bad reputation of, like, if you get attached, then they die. So we try not to name our sheep, but I do have a few that I've named, and that is how Popcorn became Popcorn. Great question. This is a great one, and I am so happy to be able to do this one. Gemma Lowe, this is what she wrote me. Don't have any questions, but me and my son love your videos. He's animal mad, and it's his 8th birthday tomorrow. Don't suppose you could wish him a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Gemma Lowe's son that I don't know your name. So happy birthday, and I hope you have a great day. I don't remember being 8, but I'm sure it was delightful. That's a great one. I love that. I love that one. I'm hoping that there's going to be some action behind my face as I read this question. You guys keep an eye out for me. Annette Santor, this was a question I think from yesterday. I took a screenshot of it. Hi, I just subscribed to your channel and I'm watching a lot of your videos. I don't subscribe to many channels, only a few, and my question to you is this. I've been watching you breed your lambs. Well, they're just sheep. But it happens so fast, it looks like. How long does it take for the ram to mount the lamb, the sheep, and impregnate her? I'm just very curious because it seems to happen so fast. And I was just wondering, what was the process of impregnating the sheep or the ewe, still learning the proper names for them, good one, and more things. Thank you for your vlog, it's very oh my god, I can't talk. Thank you for your vlog, it is very educating, and I do not find anything you have posted to be insulting or disgusting. I find it all to be very educational. Thank you. That's great, Annette. Those are great questions, and it is a bit complicated with sheep, and this is something I learned after I got into the sheep business. So this is how I was described the impregnating whole thing. So it looks like the ram is mounting real fast. And what I was told is he has literally super soakers. So when he does his thing, maybe they're gonna do it like right behind me. That's uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. Okay, well, we'll stand like this. I mean, I'm trying to remember from my Master Shepherds program, but I think I was told that their sperm is really velocitized. So he shoots really quick. So you're not wrong. When it looks like he's mounting fast and furious, he is. I also was told that the sperm itself is really, and I even had this in my video yesterday. So when Rex talked about how many sperm was in a little thing of semen, it's really, really concentrated. So a little goes a long way with ram sperm, plus they have the velocity. So he's squirting really quick, and the stuff that he's squirting is really, really concentrated. It is the universe's way of being able to navigate through a ewe's cervix, because how I was described is a ewe's cervix is so complicated, and someone told me it was like putting a whole bunch of flexible funnels together and then trying to get something in there to actually, well, to get in it and navigate its way into the ewe. So that's how I was described. So they said nature just has had a way of making it so the rams are really the easiest way to impregnate your ewe? So that is a really good question. I was just trying to like, how do I explain this so YouTube doesn't not want to show my video? So a ewe's cervix is like a whole bunch of flexible funnels together, and the ram has super soakers. Just remember that. Okay, Lauren N wants to know, hello Sandy, I was wondering how you treat ketosis, pregnancy toxemia, and milk fever. We've had a ewe die from it and others that could get it. Yes, pregnancy toxemia is a big deal, especially dealing with prolific ewes. The best way to deal with pregnancy toxemia is to really know your nutrition. This kicked me hard last year. I had probably in my March group last year, I had 6 go down with it and probably 3 or 4 that died from it. So it is a big deal, and it is 100% management before. So this is well in before those last few weeks of pregnancy. Pregnancy toxemia happens when that ewe has maybe 3 or 4 lambs in her. And if that feed is, say, it's not dense enough, so it gets pretty fluffy. Even if you're increasing, so with me, everything on paper looked right. The energy was increasing, protein was increasing, everything was right on paper. The problem was, to get that, my feed was so wet that there was too much water in that ration. She was filling up before she could eat what the required amount was. And then what happens is they start taking it, a mom will start taking it out of her to support her lambs. So she was just drawing from any calcium or any reserves in her body, and then it leaves them really weak and they can't get up. And that's pregnancy toxemia. There is nothing worse than seeing a ewe that you know is full of babies and is alert and wants so bad to get up. It literally breaks your heart. So I am not going to give you dosages because you have to talk to your vet about that, but I will give you the things that I use for ketosis or pregnancy toxemia. I just have to check my standard operating procedure. I do work with my vet with this stuff, and so I'm not going to put him in an awkward position. So I will tell you the tools of the trade. I mean, you can Google it and find it, but I will share with you what we use, and you'll have to talk to your vet about dosages. As much as you can, try and work on prevention. So what I did this year is I fed a close-up pellet, so I spent a little more money on my feed, and I made that feed denser. So I was able to feed a little bit less hay, a little bit less corn silage, and I had a concentrate, a pellet that I bought. So yes, it was a little bit more money, but if I knew that those ewes had quite a few lambs in them and I was at all concerned maybe there were some older ewes, then at least it was kind of insurance that that they wouldn't come down with pregnancy toxemia, because it's terrible. I'm gonna write kind of what he wrote here, because I think you could Google this and get the same kind of description. Pregnancy toxemia occurs in ewes in late pregnancy when growing lambs require more energy than the ewe is eating. The body produces chemicals that make the ewe lay down more, lose her appetite, and eventually make her unable to stand and die. Watch closely at feeding time for the slowest ewe to get up and eat grain. If you're unsure, check again in a few hours by entering the pen and getting everyone up. The last ones to stand up or the first to lay back down need an extra look. Prevention. So prevention is way better than treatment. Providing increased energy to ewes in the last 3 weeks before lambing by feeding more grain/pellets and very high quality hay. Monitor ewes for weight loss during this time. Fat ewes are at higher risk of pregnancy toxemia than thin ewes. Oh, interesting. Monitoring BHB levels by blood testing can be performed to measure the risk in a group. That's something I've never done, so I can't speak to it, but so that's kind of the lowdown of what to look for and for prevention. So treatment, what we do, I will get them here. So treatment we do glycol orally. So make sure you have this in your lambing kit, some glycol, or not even lambing, but pre-lambing kit. We also do calcium borogluconate, 23%. So that's this. And that is done sub-Q. And the last thing is a painkiller, Medicam, because sometimes if they feel better, they might get up to try to eat. So Medicam, those are the 3 things that I use for treatment. Typically, if a ewe goes down, I have never had luck to get her back up. Once they're down, they're down. If they're really close to having their babies, I've also induced pregnancy or induced labor and got the lambs out successfully. But even that, unless she's right on her due date, which never happens, right? They go down like 2 weeks before their due date. So even if you induce them, they're not going to go into labor unless they're really close to actually doing it naturally. So pregnancy toxemia sucks. So the more prevention you do, the better off it will be. The last question I've got here, because it was a popular question too. This one's from Linda McKinney. I'm waiting for more videos. I can't stand a day without seeing your video. Ooh, that's a lot of pressure. I think you're the only one that have animals that make a video every day. So I have a question, kind of personal, but how much time do you actually get to spend with your family with the jobs you have to do? Miss ya, Linda from Indy. Well, Linda from Indy, how much time do I spend with my family? The problem is my family is getting older, so my children do not need me as much. So I guess the sheep have filled a bit of a void with that. Jess works every single night milking cows at a dairy farm, so she's gone. She's usually done her school work around 4, and then by about 4:20 she's out the door, and she's milking cows till about 8:30 at night. So I only get to see Jess maybe for a couple hours before bedtime. I'm around Mark a lot. I see him through the day, off and on. Jack's been gone for over a year. He's in his second full year at college. So he's kind of flown the coop. He loves living in the city. He lives in London, about 45 minutes away from us. So I don't get to see him much. Personal life, I have a couple really close friends that I can contact if I'm having a bad day or I need to just get out and have a coffee. Other than that, I don't have much of a life. I do a lot of editing. I go out to get groceries. And I don't know, like you guys see me every day, all day on Insta stories and here. I don't do a lot off the farm. I'm on a board, I'm on a sheep board, so that's every 6 weeks I have a meeting, and that usually takes me, there's usually a meeting the day before and the day of, so that usually is 2 days every 6 weeks that I'm off the farm. Every Saturday I have off, so I usually use that day to hang out with my family, do laundry, get groceries, do all that stuff. You know what? I'm content. That's the thing. If you like what you do, it doesn't really feel like a job. They are my family. That's also kind of a problem. I've chosen a profession that I love doing, and they feel like family, and I don't know, do I spend enough time with my family? Maybe not, but I think they're okay with it, and they're at the age now where they're definitely not offended. But great question.